Sofia Flores and Diana Jimenez, first place, and they advanced to state. Honorable mention, Ian Becerril and Jimena Mendoza, National Programs and Actions, Financial Fitness. Power of One, individual units of self-improvement and growth, all 5 unit completers, Abby Vargas, Chloe Tanner, Jasmine Gallardo, Karime Sigala, and Natalie Castaneda. And all of the competitors were Marisol Llamas, Valeria Mendoza, Katie Montes, Evelyn Ontiveros, Evelyn Camacho, Sofia Flores, Diana Jimenez, Adeline Peregrino, Alejandra Rodarte Leiva, Karime Sigala, Jimena Mendoza, and Ian Becerril. Abby Vargas, Jasmine Gallardo, and Natalie Castaneda, and Chloe Tanner. So we want to congratulate them. And they have had the opportunity to travel to state. So I want to read those recognitions as well. Our Perryton High School FCCLA chapter attended state competition April the 7th through the 9th in Dallas. There were about 3,500 competitors from across the state, representing 400 chapters. Perryton High School FCCLA chapter earned the Gold Star Chapter Award for their project work for the year. And those competitors were Natalie Castaneda, Jasmine Gallardo, Isabella Hansen, Giselle Peña Garcia, and Adeline Peregrino, Chloe Tanner, Sofia Flores, Evelyn Camacho, Karime Sigala, Jimena Mendoza, Katie Montes, Valeria Mendoza, Marisol Llamas, Alejandra Rodarte Leiva, Evelyn Ontiveros. Natalie Castaneda was awarded a total of $20,000 in FCCLA scholarships from Regional FCCLA Scholarships, HEB, and CJ Davidson. Huge congratulations to her. Sofia Flores earned 5th place in the state for Sustainability Challenge project over upcycling and fast fashion. Our FCSA competitors won 9 gold medals and 1 silver medal. Jimena Mendoza, Evelyn Camacho, Karime Sigala, Jasmine Gallardo competed in etiquette and earned gold medals. Katie Montes competed in step 1 and earned a gold medal. Isabella Hansen, Natalie Castaneda, and Evelyn Ontiveros competed in creed, mission, purpose, and earned gold medals. Chloe Tanner competed in etiquette and earned a silver medal. Natalie Castaneda, Chloe Tanner, Jasmine Gallardo, and Karime Sigala were recognized as being Power of One completers. Jasmine Gallardo and Karime Sigala received honorable mention in the Spotlight on Projects Career Connection event over their work with our many career fairs hosted at the high school this year. Adeline Figuerino and Alejandra Rodarte Leiva received honorable mention for their Focus on Children project, where they hosted events for the littles at Ranger Roundup Learning Center. Valeria Mendoza and Marisol Llamas received honorable mention for their chapter service project portfolio over our chapter with Work with Gyra. Congratulations to all of these students.
Great job. We're going to modify just a little bit on our agenda tonight. We're now going to move down to Section 5 reports and Section VA2 School Health Advisory, or the SHAC report. Coach Hayden?
The report's in your packet.
It is.
It's just an end-of-year report. We did realize at some point in time that our wellness policy needed updated. Mr. Morales' help and our wonderful committee, a great committee, we got that reviewed, checked it over with the audit that our food services people had to do, and we kind of got that back in alignment. But we would like to add that audit onto our SHAC in our, I'll talk to Darren, in the web page, just add that audit so everybody can see kind of the things that we have to look at every year and the things we have to review as a SHAC. And so it's called the triennial audit, and I have a copy of it if you need it. Shelley Walker was the one that brought it to my attention. She and I worked on it together. So I think it's a really good tool to just remind us where we're moving ahead as far as the school wellness policy is concerned. I don't know if that takes any part to just add that into the webpage as far as under the shack issue. I wouldn't think so, but that's the only thing. We had a report from the junior high on sex ed, and Mr. Morales and I kind of talked about that. He was there for that one. Ms. Tanner has been there, and she talked about all the things that she does with family science. Amazing, amazing the things that they do. It really, truly is. So we've had a couple people come in and talk about what they do throughout the district, just to educate us. Other than that, I think we're good. Is there any questions you guys have for us?
Yeah, any questions for Coach Hayden?
I think it's a requirement that they report to the board once a year, annually.
It is.
It is. We have to have 4 meetings and 1 board report every year. Yes, sir.
How's the diversity of your committee going?
Still working on that.
I knew that was.
It is something we are still working on. That it's difficult to get people to be involved.
It is.
You know, and especially when you get something with health and wellness and that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
we're working on it.
Okay.
We're trying. So
Any other questions for Coach Hayden? Thank you very much.
thank you guys for
Thank you. Okay. The board will now convene in closed meeting to discuss the following items posted on our agenda this evening as allowed by the Texas Government Code and/or Education Code, personnel matters, Government Code Section 551.074, and security devices, Government Code Section 551.076. No voting will take place in the closed meeting. Any action the board wishes to take as a result of discussions in closed session will take place after the board reconvenes in the open meeting. It is now 6:10. I'll call this meeting back in open session. It is now 7:23. First up, we have the superintendent's report, and I guess I have to read the training hours. Okay. Board President annual announcement on continuing education hours of board members. And the State Board of Education rule, completing required continuing education each year of service is a basic obligation and expectation of any sitting board member. As board president, I'm required to announce the name of each member who is deficient and still has time to complete training hours, is deficient in completing required training, or has completed required training. The following board members are deficient and still have time to complete training. Chris Lingo. The following board members are deficient in completing required training. Richard B.A., Lloyd Cater, Tyler Merkel, Ramon Vila. The following board members have completed training hours. Wes Beal and Joe Ogden. That concludes the board president's report. Okay, we'll move on. We've already done the shack report, campus reports. First one up, high school report. Mrs. Sproul is out tonight. Radar report.
Ronnie's first.
Everything's great at the junior high. Our band is going to contest tomorrow, their UIL contest. For the first time in over a decade, they're going to compete at the UIL level. And we're very excited. I watched them last night. They practiced their sight reading and they were amazing. So the Munezes have done a fabulous job with that. But we've got a lot of great things going on right now. Ranger Camp is rocking and rolling, and we have a lot of very positive things coming out of the extra work our teachers and kids are doing. So,
All right, thank you.
thank y'all.
Edwin Williams Elementary.
It's all good at Williams.
Okay,
We're ready to go.
all right. Okay, right. It's just,
I don't have anything to add to my report. Everything's going great at Wright.
I have a question for you. This book of the week thing really intrigued me. And in here you say that they have The book of the week is a way for students to connect with others through a shared experience. How do they connect with each other on that?
Well, we have it displayed in front of the music room, and all the students go to music each day, and lots of times they have to stand in line, so the students then can look and they can, talk about those books with their teachers or their friends. I know Coach Hayden and Mrs. Clark talk to the students about those books, and so it just gets kids excited and maybe interested in a different thing that they wouldn't normally read.
Great, great.
Yeah.
It just intrigued me.
Well, and if y'all have any, children's books you'd like to share that are your favorites or that your kids' favorites, we'd love to have those to add to our collection also.
Okay.
Mine are a little out of date from
That's okay.
being appropriate for 2022.
They can
It's been a long time since I had children's book with my name written in it.
Well, any book, we share books even with staff on what we're reading also as adults, and so we're just really trying to cultivate a love of reading in the building.
Very good. Cool. Okay.
And anytime y'all want to read to a class, we do
Yes.
have that opportunity for you.
Yeah, we would love to have, y'all come as guest readers. The students love when anyone comes in or I come in and read, and Spanish or English. We have a dual language class, and so that's been great also for them to get to have people come to read to them in Spanish, or I have read to them in Spanish, and they were very sweet about it.
And they also do this at Williams too. I've read over at Williams before.
Is that open to
I
parents too?
crucified it was terrible. when
Right,
they tried to
we
read the
haven't
Spanish.
opened it up to parents, but that is on our list for next year, to be able to have some guest readers
Yeah, okay.
come in with our, at the beginning of school, things were a little bit different.
No, super
than they-
idea.
Yes.
Coach Washington, I apologize.
That's okay.
Your report.
Well, Mrs. A told me today if we hit the perfect world, we will have 29 graduates.
All right. That's
But a
fantastic.
lot of that depends on EOC testing. Got 3 more coming. But anyway, everything's going good.
That's great.
Did you have the date for your graduation?
Yes, sir. It's on Thursday, May the 26th at 7 o'clock at the junior high school auditorium. Yes.
Okay.
It's nice if we can make, most of us can make that.
Okay, Kinder report.
I do not have anything to add.
Okay. There, Coach Ab, do you have anything?
Tomorrow morning at 8:15, Zane Eiler is signing to further baseball at Seward County. And then Celine Nyman's actually going to go on the powerlifting team at UT. So,
Good.
Wow.
Hey.
So she's pretty fired up about that.
That's
We're
cool.
excited about that. Tomorrow afternoon, we leave, our kids will leave to go to the area track meet, and that's Thursday.
How many students do we have going to area track meet? Boys, girls, do you know?
Off the top of my head, 15 or 20. The signing's at 8:15, and it's going to be in front of the library.
Okay.
Our 4x2 boys have a really good chance to break school.
Oh, good.
And one of them took a hamstring this morning, so hopefully he's good.
Okay. Maintenance report.
He is gone. He's on vacation.
Oh, he's here.
Go. All right. Help, serving healthy meals to our children.
Nothing to add.
Thank you. All right. Communication.
Nothing to add unless you have any questions about anything.
Okay. It was interesting on the card usage there, and that's pretty neat.
Yeah, I thought y'all might like to see how that was. And that's just a couple of days at the busiest store, obviously.
Right. It's glad to see that working. That's good.
Going well.
Okay.
We're still catching up on some kids that have just now decided to tell us that they don't have a badge. We asked for it weeks ago, and they're just now getting around to telling Ms. Boxwell that they need a badge, so.
It's been really nice to have those doors by the gym.
Yes, that's a big help.
Okay, technology report.
Only thing I have to add is, it was really heartwarming today. I didn't think, I suspected that the right teachers would be less excited about the phones just because they have something there. But like Mrs. Chisholm and I were talking a while ago, that she didn't tell them that they were getting it. And then I was going around doing stuff on that. Like, a lot of excitement that I wasn't expecting. And they said the current ones only work about some percent of the time.
So we have high school, it's got all the phones, junior high's got all the phones, and now we're at Wright.
We did kinder too.
Oh, you did kinder too, so they're done?
So now we're down to Wright, Williams, Ludi, admin.
And how long is it taking to install phones per building?
It kind of depends. Like, I did the whole kinder in one day without any prepping. And then junior high, I did a bunch of prepping and it took a couple of days is all. But like, they have to be on the right type of switch that probably seems like they're not on, so I gotta unplug from one switch and plug it into the correct switch.
So that they can talk to each other, they can talk to the office, but they can't call out yet.
No, they can call campus to campus too, but just not out yet.
But not.
When we get all the phones in, then that'll be a good time to make it where they can make outside phone calls.
Okay. Any other questions? Rodney, I think there was a question about a grant. Do you know if we made the grant or didn't make the grant in time?
Which
Dr.
grant?
Rock, do you remember what that one was?
It was for speeding up our internet.
Oh, speeding up our internet.
Well,
Yeah, it was a grant that we could have applied for, but I think we missed the deadline.
well, the only thing that we could have bought with the grant of our needs was a router, and the router was just $600. And if we'd have put in 10 hours apiece, we would have spent, like in salary, way more than that.
So there wasn't anything that we would have had an advantage for on the grant at all,
Just-
other than the router, you
Just
say?
the router.
Okay.
The
So,
router's $600, and if I put in 10 hours and Mrs. Waite puts in 10 hours, and then like we're already way past $600, I think.
okay, so here's my biggest question, sorry.
No, go ahead.
My biggest question is, okay, we're fixing to do online testing next year. Do we have enough bandwidth that when we do the online testing, it's not gonna be us messing up?
Well, I'd say
the state?
today, not, but for sure for testing.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we have enough.
Yeah,
I
that's,
don't want it to be our problem.
well, and this is something that we've kind of been building for years. Like this didn't just come up that we're going to have. Nobody knew exactly when it would be, but we've been building towards this for several years because we knew this was coming.
It'll be here next year.
Yep.
How short do you think we are on bandwidth to be able to help facilitate, to allow all students to be able to take the testing without having internet issues?
Well, I'd say right now we have 2/3. It's just gonna be a matter of, like right now, our router and our firewall, which didn't qualify for that grant, and our total bandwidth were 2/3 of what we need to be. But our firewall and router were both 1 gig, and we needed more than 1 gig router, firewall, et cetera, so that we could handle more than a gig. And like, they don't make 2 gig of those things, you jump from 1 to 10, so. After this, the new firewall and router, like, those ought to be good for a long time, because it'll be, I would assume, a long time before we get to.
So is that what we're gonna have to update to, is a 10 gig?
Yes, but,
basically?
yeah, because they don't make anything besides
Right.
1 gig and 10 gigs.
Right. So that's what we'll be making a jump to within the year.
Mhm. The router is ordered and still trying to figure out which way to go on the firewall, but there's gobs of choices.
All right.
Any other questions? Now, we're ready for curriculum and instruction. Dr. Rock.
I'm going to let Desiree Hernandez give an update on Ranger Roundup Learning Center.
Okay.
She's our director and she's here
Okay.
tonight.
Good evening. We currently have an enrollment of 38 children, which has been studied. We are working on some enrollment flyers to be sent out next week. We received 2 long-awaited background checks yesterday for new hires, and we have a deadline of
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Additionally, I want to add, we did not have the turnout that we expected for the pre-K3 enrollment, but we are going to give one more push in May in hopes that we reach our targets for the pre-K3 at the Ranger Roundup.
Good.
And then I have 3 other updates as well. Our 2022 summer program calendar was finalized last week, so we will be having our summer program in the month of June for all campuses. And then our District of Innovation was approved last week at the DEIC meeting, and it has been posted for the 30 days before we can provide that to the board so that you can approve that for the DOI on our renewal. And then I wanted to give you an update. Today, we did receive the notice that we did not receive the Dyslexia Grant. It was a competitive grant, and Region 4 in the Houston area was the committee that was reviewing all of the applications. So I'm assuming that there was some deficits in the Houston area, and we did not get selected. So just wanted to give you an update because I know I added that to my.
We had big plans for that.
We did.
We'll do with what we have, I guess.
Right.
Okay, anything else? Any questions for Dr. Rao? Okay. We're ready for the CFO report.
Okay. We ended cash with about 400,000. The CDs are right about where we were this time last year. You may see that we actually had some activity in capital projects. That's because we take $40,000 from our general fund and put it into that CD for the eventual replacement of the football field turf. We're successfully managing cash flow despite the lag in ESSER funds. Basically, we have to spend the money before we can get the money from the state. And they have a new reporting requirement, and right now it's taking them about a month to approve our reports and then to give us the funds. So, enrollment's currently at 2,029. Something else positive about Ranger Roundup is you may notice that the net loss in Fund 711 decreased in March, and that's because they made $750 instead of going further in the red.
What?
Yay.
You said we made money?
Yes, they made money.
That's the first time.
That's a good sign.
The start of a trend.
I remember when I came into this deal and where we were. Oh.
It's the start of a trend, I'm telling you.
Earlier this month, I opened up the budget so principals and department heads are able to put in their requests for next year. I'm working on revenue projections and patiently waiting the estimated property values from the appraisal district. Next month, I will present those to y'all whenever we get them at the end of this month. And lastly, on revenue projections, a couple weeks ago, TEA issued a statement that the Commissioner of Education is granting an adjustment to the minimum number of operational minutes to not hold the district harmless for losses of ADA due to enrollment declines for the first through fourth 6 weeks of this school year. So I did a projection, based it on the target percentage attendance rate. You may read things, and it's referred to as the TAPR, which we won't see the results until September with our near final settle up, but this conservatively could result in about a $500,000 increase in our state funding.
Increase?
Increase, yes.
Good.
Well, without this hold harmless, I was really afraid because our attendance was really down the first 4 weeks, so they really helped us. And right now, our principals are competing. We each campus competing with each other, trying to get the attendance rate up. It's kind of funny to watch one of them because she's really taking it serious. I won't say this one.
Do you have anything else?
No, sir.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you have any concern on the current funds with, in our budget at this time?
I see some places where we may need to do a budget amendment. Voting, I don't think we budgeted enough. Travel is really eating us. We talked. Just small things like that.
Okay.
Out at the bus barn, I know the new mechanic is really good about doing preventative maintenance instead of fixing things after the fact. And so, we've got to buy parts and stuff for him, and that's.
What about fuel costs for buildings and the rest of the facilities?
Facility costs, we haven't seen, as far as in utilities, we haven't seen a huge jump in those yet.
Okay.
But I do think, that's a good question, because I do think that as we try to do our budget for next year, the travel and stuff, we figured at these high fuel costs, just in case they don't go down. And so I do think we'll have to limit travel some. And I hadn't even talked to Coach about this, it's just popping off the top of my head, but some stuff that's not necessary to go to, maybe we don't go to so far because of gas prices.
I think we have to watch it. The inflation's going to get us all across the board, including food, right? So we're going to see that. But the fuel has gone, well, I mean, grains have gone up the same percentage some of the oil and gas has too, so.
Yeah. I just think we need to plan that a lot.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Okay, we move on to consent agenda items, minutes of the prior meetings. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Discussion or action items? Discuss and consider approval of a request for additional state aid for ad valorem tax credit for the Paladuro Wind Project. Mr. Morales.
Brittany knows more about this than I do. She has a print upon.
This we do once a year, every year. The letter seems to look the same as last year's. We get about $200,000 from Paladuro Wind, and then the offset of that is what we're applying for with this, and that's from our state aid funds, and that's a little bit less than $100,000. And we have this.
It was a 10-year deal.
Yes, it started back in 14, yep.
About 100,000, Brittany?
Yes, sir.
We need a motion on that?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And I think that's one you know, so.
Yes, it is. Do I have a motion? Motion. Second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? All opposed? Passes 7-0. All right, discussion and possible action on probationary, dual probationary, and non-certified teacher contracts.
Okay, this is all the people that we hadn't done so far, our certified teachers. These are people that either are less than 3 years on probationary contract. I believe some of these were dual probationary contracts, so it was a teacher and a coach, or something else. And then the other one is our non-certified staff that are working on their certification but still hadn't received it. It's a good way to just keep everybody on the ball and make sure they keep working towards certification, is really what it does. Anyway, there's a lot of them. You'll see their names. I won't read them all. We'll do like we did last time. We'll have Darren post them so everybody can see that they were rehired back and offered a contract. Non-certified, there's about 4. Probationary, there's about 5. We did them by schools too. The next page is junior high for their dual and probationary contracts. Williams probationary contracts. Wright's probationary contracts, and then Kinder's probationary contracts. The other thing that I need y'all to approve on is for all the people at the SSA, special ed services, and all the people that she needs to run those, so those will be also published.
So we probably ought to do those since they're listed.
Yep.
It's two different motions.
Yep.
Okay. Need a motion for the action on the probationary, dual probationary, and non-certified teacher contracts offered by the district.
Motion. Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Now, we need a motion or possible action on contracts for SSA.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If If not, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Final one is, the next to last one is consider impossible action on hiring personnel for the 22-23 school year.
Yeah, I recommend that we hire the below personnel on a one-year probationary certified teacher contract for the 22-23 school year. This is Erin Waters, Science 1 through 8, and ELR 4 through 8. She will be coming to us from Canadian. Her husband will be the new assistant city manager. I met him today. Very good teacher.
Great.
Motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 7-0. It didn't get on our agenda, but we are going to have to set our meeting for next month in May. Mr. Morales and I have discussed this. Possible dates that we're throwing out there. Let me get my calendar up. Tuesday, May 17th.
I'll be on vacation.
Does that meet everybody all right? Six o'clock. You guys get to get rid of me if you don't throw me out before.
That's worth showing up for.
May 17th.
Yes, sir. Is that all right with everybody?
I won't be here.
Okay. What about, to get everybody here, would you want to go to 16th?
Yeah, we might go 16.
16th?
We got any banquets that night?
No,
Darren.
The 2nd and 9th. I don't know, junior high, when they're doing their awards.
Okay.
Only thing on that night is snack pack.
That's the only thing that night?
Academics at high school too, isn't it?
It's the 9th.
Oh, they're not.
Well, I bet we can go with our packed bags and then come back.
There you go, never needed help.
What's your pleasure, man?
I'm good either.
Either way.
Yeah.
Can you do the 16th, Chris?
I'm on vacation.
You're still
Okay,
going?
all right.
I'm missing both. Okay.
All right. 17th?
17th.
All right, let's go 17th, 6 o'clock.
And then I need to ask y'all this too, guys. We're still in the hiring, and Dr. Rock and I are putting people in pools, and we're definitely using attrition, not hiring everybody back. Probably have to do another lunch one, because I don't want to lose if we got some people on fire that want to come work in our district. So we may have to do another lunch, and I just need at least 4 for the lunch meeting so we can get that done. And I'm thinking in a couple of weeks, Dr. Rock, you think we'll have everybody lined up?
I think so.
So we'll do a lunch meeting.
Another reminder, we will have to meet to canvass the election,
Yep.
but we only need 2 board members for that, so that's pretty simple. Anybody have anything else to come before the board at this time? If not, I declare this meeting adjourned at 7:49.